When the police raided the home of Tiffany Machel Adams, they were loaded for bear. So basically, they knew something that we don't know. So these people probably were armed to the teeth because the police were armed to the teeth, and they were ready to take whatever actions, whatever uh, needed to be done at this location. I'll show you quickly uh, yesterday's tape of or video of them preparing for the raid on this location. So that was the raid that they accomplished yesterday. So as you could see, the police were absolutely loaded for bear, and they were ready to take on whatever they needed to take on. So they knew some things. You never do a search warrant. Uh, you never do a search warrant. You never do an arrest warrant, and not know all the information about about the people that you are going after. So it's very important. The police were prepared for this. They knew who they were going after. They knew and they know information that we don't know. So these people could be extremely, extremely dangerous people. And they obviously knew that. So they were loaded for bear. So what are we looking for evidentiary wise? Well, one of the biggest things right now is that the bodies recovered, two bodies were recovered if you just tuned in now, by the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. And it was searching in the areas that they sort of knew to search. So my question, another question I have is, did one of the defendants tell them where the bodies were dumped so that it narrowed down the area that they had to search? So did one of the defendants, one of these people you see on the screen, did one of them give it up? Did one of them say where they dumped the bodies? That's a question we all have. But what we do know is that they found the remains of two bodies that they believe to be Veronica Butler, right? And Jillian Kelly. They believe those bodies they recovered, and they'll only know if they are in fact them by taking them to the Oklahoma office of the chief medical examiner for an autopsy and to perform DNA tests on it, dental records, all the possibilities that will positively identify the victims in this case. And that's where the bodies are on their way to now. This was earlier in the night or yesterday. Just giving a background because News Nation had been on this from the very beginning.
Involving the two women who disappeared in Oklahoma 2 weeks ago. Nancy Liu joining us from Hugoton, Kansas with the latest. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Hannah. It's sure to be an emotional Sunday service here at First Christian Church in Hugoton. This is where the husband of Jillian Kelly is the lead pastor. The entire community now is grieving following 2 weeks of hope that Kelly and Veronica Butler would be found safe. While the four under arrest for first-degree murder and other felony charges, 54-year-old Tiffany Adams, her boyfriend Tad Cullum, and Cole and Cora Twombly. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations is not revealing details about the suspects' alleged crimes or what happened, But a custody fight may be linked to it all. Tiffany Adams is the grandmother of the two children Butler was on her way to see on March 30th, and Adams had bitterly fought against more visitation. A custody hearing was set for next week when Butler was expected to seek full custody. Kelly was among 4 court-appointed supervisors for Butler's visitations. They never made it to the usual pickup point at an abandoned gas station in Texas County, Oklahoma. Well, that's where our News Nation crew captured this exclusive footage of law enforcement closing in on the suspects to execute the 4 arrest warrants in both Texas and neighboring Cimarron County. We spotted more than 20 police and SWAT vehicles at one point, following them to various locations outside the Twombly's property. We heard an officer on a loudspeaker announcing, "We have a warrant for your arrest." All officers appeared heavily armed and prepared for a gunfight in case of resistance. They also seemed wary of all who approached, drawing guns to turn people back, including us. Tiffany Adams and the others are now behind bars at the Texas County Jail. They also face charges of kidnapping and conspiracy to commit murder, indicating they allegedly plotted the killings. OSBI is not providing details on what led to the suspect arrests or their alleged roles in what happened. Now, the agency is also not revealing yet whether they've located or recovered the women's remains. But Hannah, definitely a tragic ending that many had feared.
Yeah, I know you've been on top of this story. Nancy Lou, thank you so much.